Kody Brown stood frozen in the middle of the old family home, the paper trembling in his hand. The envelope was already torn, but he kept reading the letter inside like the words might magically change. All upcoming payments and residuals related to the Sister Wives series are terminated effective immediately. There would be no final season, no special, no send-off. The camera had stopped rolling. In the background, Robyn lingered near the kitchen. Her expression was drawn, her makeup smudged. She wanted to say something, to comfort him perhaps, but Kody's voice cracked through the silence. "They cut me off," he whispered. "They said I was the risk." He looked at her with a mixture of heartbreak and fury. "After everything I gave up." Robyn hesitated. "Kody," she started. "No," he snapped. "You told me this would work. That we were soulmates. That it was worth it. I gave up my family for this." Her eyes flashed. "You didn't give anything up. You let your anger take everything from you." Their words hung between them like thunderclouds. Then the room fell into silence. Something irreparable passed between them. Across town, Janelle sat alone in her modest RV, tucked into a quiet corner of Kody Pass. Legal papers lay across her lap. She clutched them with shaking hands as she read the email again. The property she once believed was hers had been transferred, quietly, without warning. Robyn Brown now owns CP Lot Parcel B via a deed co-signed by Kody Brown. Janelle's vision blurred. That land had been her future, her son Garrison's future. He had helped clear it, dreamed there with her, and now it was gone, like him. The phone rang. Her attorney's voice came through, somber. "You have a case, but it won't be easy. He's claiming you occupied property that wasn't yours." She let out a hollow laugh. "I bought that RV to keep my kids safe while he played house elsewhere. Let him try. I'll be ready." In court, the air was sharp with tension. Kody wore an old leather jacket that once made him feel invincible. Robyn sat beside him, wearing dark glasses and keeping quiet. On the other side of the courtroom, Janelle looked calm, strong. The judge flipped through papers. "Mr. Brown," he said, "you've submitted financial documents that don't align with reality. The network terminated your contract months ago." "They'll come back," Kody said. "I am the show." The judge wasn't amused. "That's not how contracts work." He turned to Janelle's legal file. "Miss Brown has submitted ample evidence that the property transfer was done without the proper notifications. This is a breach. Given the documents, financial discrepancies, and questionable handling of assets, this court grants full ownership of Parcel B to Janelle Brown." It was over. Weeks later, Robyn wandered through an empty, echoing house. Much of the furniture had been taken. The streaming service no longer showed a single episode of the series that had once made her family famous. Kody had taken to social media. His newest project, a podcast, wasn't gaining traction. The GoFundMe link at the bottom of his videos had barely cracked 4 digits. Far away from it all, on Kody Pass, a fire burned. Janelle stood beside it, feeding the flames with old family photographs, pictures of holidays, of smiles that once seemed real. She didn't cry. Mary approached with 2 mugs of tea. She handed one to Janelle in silence. "Do you regret it?" Mary asked. "Which part?" Janelle responded, eyes on the fire. "All of it." Janelle took a deep breath. "I regret staying as long as I did. I regret believing he'd change, but not leaving. Never that." Mary nodded. "We used to be sister wives." Janelle shook her head. "No, we were never sisters." They clinked mugs gently. Behind them, ashes swirled into the sky. In the months that followed, Kody's podcast was pulled down after just a few episodes. Robyn quietly filed for legal separation. Neither has been seen much in public since. Back at Kody Pass, the land transformed. Janelle planted a garden where Pain once lived. She called it Garrison's Grove. No lights, no producers, no edits. It was dry and biting as a wind swept over the rugged land of Kody Pass, stirring dust across the broken dreams left behind. Janelle stood near the edge of Parcel B, her boots planted in the earth she had once envisioned as her forever home. The wind tugged at her coat, but she didn't flinch. In her hand was the final deed, freshly notarized. Her name now appeared as the sole owner of this stretch of land. The battle was over, but victory hadn't come without scars. 2 years earlier, she had parked her RV right here, on this very slope, determined to forge a life on her own terms. Back then, she believed she still had a stake in the shared dream. But the dream died quietly, cruelly, and now she was the last one standing. Behind her, a pickup truck pulled in slowly. Mary stepped out, clutching 2 paper cups of tea. "I thought you'd be here," she said, offering one. Janelle took the tea, her eyes scanning the horizon. "It's mine now." "I heard." Mary smiled faintly. "You earned it." Janelle nodded, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. "He signed it over months ago. I just didn't know he'd try to take it back." FLASFVACK. 6 months earlier. Kody Brown stormed through his Flagstaff home, his face flushed with fury. An envelope was crumpled in his hand, opened, reread, and still unbelievable. All upcoming payments and residuals related to sister wives are terminated with immediate effect. The words were stamped on TLC letterhead, cold and final. No more paychecks. No more Kody time. No redemption arc. No special farewell episode. Just nothing. In the kitchen, Robyn hovered near the sink. Her hair was unkempt. Her eyes puffy from crying. "They're blaming me," Kody hissed, barely containing his anger. "They said the audience turned because I was the liability. After everything I gave them." Robyn reached out cautiously. "Kody, maybe it's not about blame. Maybe it's time we just focus on—" "No," he barked. "You wanted this life. You said I should give everything to you. That you were my soulmate." Robyn recoiled. "I was the only one left. They all left because of you, Kody, not because of me." That hit like a slap, but it wasn't the worst blow. "You gave up nothing," she continued, eyes blazing now. "You alienated your children. You insulted your wives. You let your pride rot everything." And then silence. A line crossed. Something in Kody snapped, not just emotionally, but physically. His hand moved fast, a flinch born from frustration, and the echo of the action filled the room with a sharp final sound. The silence that followed was more terrible than any scream. Robyn collapsed into a crouch, stunned, hand covering her cheek. She didn't speak. Didn't cry, just stared ahead. Kody's expression fell to pieces. I didn't mean." He staggered forward, guilt flooding him. But she said nothing. Her silence spoke louder than any of his excuses. The CEO or Truum. Janelle sat across from Kody in a cold courtroom days later. Her attorney slid paperwork across the table to the judge, records, proof, every receipt of her years of investment into Kody Pass. Her presence was calm, steel-wrapped in resolve. Across from her, Kody looked disheveled. Robyn, wearing large sunglasses, sat beside him quietly. The bruise was faint but visible under the rim. "Mr. Brown," the judge said, adjusting his glasses. "Your financial disclosures are incomplete, and your claim on this parcel has no legal standing." Kody's voice cracked. "This is a mistake. TLC is bluffing. Sister Wives is me. They can't just cancel me." The judge blinked. "That's not how contracts work, sir." Robyn's fingers twitched, clasped tightly on the table. She didn't look at Kody. The judge continued. "Evidence shows that Parcel B was transferred without proper spousal notification. This jurisdiction requires transparency during property transfer, especially between cohabitants with shared assets. This was a violation." Kody tried to protest, but his voice faltered. Given the evidence, the judge concluded, Miss Janelle Brown is granted full and exclusive ownership of Parcel B. A gavel fell. The sound was final. Weeks later, the FALUT. The home once shared by Kody and Robyn stood mostly empty. The furniture had been repossessed. Legal fees had gutted their savings. TLC had scrubbed the show from its archives. Even streaming episodes were pulled. On her laptop, Robyn stared at Kody's newest project, a podcast called Alpha Polygamist. In his first episode, he ranted about modern men being emasculated, about loyalty, about his GoFundMe page blinked on the screen. The goal, $500,000. Raised $4,627. Robyn shut the laptop. Her face blank. In the distance, the light outside began to fade. Back at Coyote Pass, the bonfire crackled in the cool night air. Janelle tossed another photograph into the flames, an old family portrait, one of many she no longer needed. Mary sat beside her quietly, sipping tea. "Do you regret it?" Mary asked after a long pause. Janelle didn't answer right away. Her eyes glistened. "I regret staying," she said finally. "I regret waiting for him to change, but I don't regret leaving." Mary nodded. "We used to be sister wives." Janelle gave a half smile. "We were never really sisters." They clinked mugs quietly. Around them, the fire danced. The F to your mate. Kody vanished from public life shortly after. His podcast lasted 3 episodes before being removed for violating community guidelines. Robyn never gave a public interview, but court documents later revealed she filed for legal separation and relocated to a rental home far from Flagstaff. Her name no longer appeared on the deed of any Brown family property. Janelle remained at Coyote Pass. She cleared the weeds. She tilled the soil. She planted a garden where grief once bloomed wild. A hand-carved sign now stands at the entrance of the parcel. Garrison's Grove. A tribute, a new start. No producers, no crew, just peace. EPILOGE. Christine visited once with David. The 3 women sat on the porch, laughing like old friends. Not because they'd forgotten the past, but because they'd finally stopped letting it haunt them. Christine raised a glass of lemonade. To freedom. To healing, Mary added. To never going back, Janelle said. As the sun dipped behind the hills of Coyote Pass, the last light danced on the garden leaves. And for the first time in years, there was no camera rolling. Just peace. Just life. And a future finally, their own.